This video, as you can see, I'm being choked. As you can see, the police were choking me in this video. I'm not going to play the video now. I'm appealing for humanitarian assistance. My life is in danger. My mother has been killed. My friend God has been killed. So before I play the video, I'm going to give you a preface of what led to this. I'm a Nigerian transsexual, and I've been experiencing horrific human rights abuse in New York City, and they're covering it up. My mother has been killed. Since then, my friend God has been killed also. So in 2010, me and my mother was living on Staten Island in a basement apartment, and the mayor Bloomberg was carrying out racial policing. So there was like cleansing New York of black tenants. So the police came into our home and ordered me and my mother to leave right away, to leave our apartment. Just they were evicting us without a court order. So me and my mother told them, no, they can't do that. They have to give us a court order. They have to give us a notice, like 30 days notice. And the police said they don't have to comply with any notice, that because they consider it a legal basement apartment, they can just kick us right away. But even though the U.S. Supreme Court says even if someone is in a legal basement apartment, the police have to give them like 30 days notice to leave, because everybody's home is their castle, so you can't just kick them out. So me and my mother said we weren't going to leave, and they threatened to put us in a psych ward. So when my mother heard that, she started having symptoms of heart attack. So they called the ambulance. So I put out in a lawsuit I filed against the police that when they threatened me and my mother to leave, otherwise they're going to put us in a psych ward and lie on us that we were crazy. That my mother almost had a heart attack. So I filed that lawsuit at the Brooklyn Federal Court. So my mother's daughters in Pennsylvania were reading that lawsuit papers, and they were very jealous that I was going to win money, and my mother was going to win money. So they tried to get my mother killed. So after they took my home in New York City, my mother went to her daughters, to live with her daughter in Pennsylvania. So she first lived with one of her daughters named Flora, and she said that the daughter was driving her in a car and then drove into somebody's house and went and hit the house all of a sudden for no reason. My mother almost had a heart attack and died. And my mother was like, she felt like the daughter did it on purpose to cause her to have a heart attack and die. And she didn't understand why the daughter wanted to make her panic and die. But my mother survived. I think the ambulance came and the police came and issued a police report. And so my mother didn't die that day. My mother lived with her daughters for like less than a year. And she was like incident upon incident that they were trying to kill her. Repeated incident like that. So that was one of the first incidents. So when the daughter noticed my mother didn't die right away, then the Flora's husband, who was with the U.S. military, his name is Nypd, he said one day he started to provoke my mother. So my mother told him to stop provoking her, and he ran downstairs from the upstairs bedroom. He was coming to punch her. He was a heavy-set guy. So it was like he ran towards my mother, was about to punch her. My mother said she almost had a heart attack and died. And they called the police, and the police in Pennsylvania said, it's a nothing burger. They're not going to file a police report because he didn't hit her. And my mother was trying to tell them, like, if Freddie was just trying to scare her to death because she has a heart disease problem. The police in Pennsylvania said it's a nothing burger. They can't file a police report over that. And the police left. They didn't arrest them. So my mother told her other daughter, Bolani, to come pick her up, who also lives in Pennsylvania. So she moved in with the other daughter, Bolani. And said the other daughter, Bolani, was trying to kill her also because they were trying to win inheritance money over the lawsuit I filed. And they believe the only way they can win the money is they killed my mother and claim, they won the money as their inheritance, my mother's share of the lawsuit. So she said that when she was living with the other daughter in Pennsylvania, the other daughter left snow all over the floor. It was a snow day and didn't clean the snow for days. So when each time my mother goes out, she will almost fall on the snow. Then my mother said that one other daughter, Flora, came to visit her and fell on the snow. They had to take her by ambulance to the hospital. So my mother said she decided to clear the snow. And then they saw my mother didn't die also. They said my mother said notice. Then after that, she felt like the other daughter, Bolani, was feeding her car fluid. And my mother was becoming sicker and sicker. And anytime she comes to New York, after a couple of days, she'll get better. But anytime she goes back to Pennsylvania to live with her daughter, Bolani, that the Bolani drives. She used to work with Uber and stuff. He said she would start feeling sick, and she was feeling like her food was being poisoned. But she had no proof. But my mother was telling me this, she was feeling sick, unable to breathe. She was having symptoms of like she's about to have a heart attack, pain in her back, pain in her chest. I began feeling sick and nauseous, and she started to have symptoms of a heart attack. So she started to get on the Greyhound bus to come back to New York to go to the hospital. On the Greyhound bus, she had a heart attack, and the bus pulled over in New Jersey from Pennsylvania, put over to call the ambulance. So my mother told the bus driver to keep driving to New York. She wants to be far away from her daughters as possible because she didn't want them to come and kill her in the hospital bed. So the bus kept on driving to New York. So finally, when they got to New York, she collapsed on the floor and they took her to the hospital. So my daughters called her and asked her where she was. She was like, she's in the hospital, but she didn't tell the name of the hospital. Then she was like surprised when the daughters showed up the next day at the hospital. She was like, how were they able to find out the name of the hospital? So she felt they were connected to a gang, and I'm thinking they maybe like a FBI informant gang, because they said the FBI has informants, former criminals that have been arrested in the past and turned informants. So I used to be on FBI surveillance. I'm still on FBI surveillance because my mother brought me here from Nigeria, and they arrested me. The immigration arrested me. That children are not welcome in America. My mother had a green card, and they said I was under 21, and they said children are not welcome under a green card. So they arrested me, put me in immigration prison, and took my fingerprint and ran into the FBI. Then after that, 9/11 happened, so every immigrant was under FBI surveillance. So since then, I've been under FBI surveillance. So I believe through that, and also I've been very politically active, suing the NYPD. And my friend Eric Garner was trying to help me with the court papers after the NYPD took our home in 2010. In 2014, the police went and took Eric Garner dead. Eric Garner, was going to help me with the court papers in 2014. It became my work in 2014 that the police took my home, and the police went and took him dead and were laughing, So so in 2015, my mother said that she felt that Dora Bolani was feeding her with car fluid, so she escaped to New York and she collapsed at the Greyhound station in Manhattan, and they took her to Bellevue Hospital. Then the daughter showed up like the next day at the hospital. My mother was shocked because my mother didn't tell what hospital she was in. She was like, how did they look at the hospital so quickly? And she said they were causing her to panic in the hospital. Like they were just, trying to get her to panic in the hospital. And they went and lied on my mother that my mother has severe mental illness and she needs to be moved to psych ward. Because I put in the court papers that when the police threatened my mother with being incarcerated in psych ward if we don't leave our home immediately in 2010, my mother began to have a heart. My mother started to panic, even though my mother passed the mental health test in Bellevue Hospital said they were going to put her in the psych ward because her daughters wanted that. So my mother finally died, So I went to Bellevue Hospital and I told them that my mother said that she felt her daughters were poisoning her with car fluid. I said I wanted an autopsy. So the Bellevue Hospital told me they're not going to do any autopsy. My mother's daughters were born in New York, so they are more proficient in American English, and I have a Nigerian accent mixed with American accent. So they said they win. So their word is going to be final. So they said the hospital is going to comply with their order. They don't want no autopsy. They just want the case closed. And they gave my mother's body. So they said, so they moved my mother to the medical examiner's office. So I went to the medical examiner's office and I told them that I wanted an autopsy, that my mother was complaining that she might have been fed with car fluid. And the medical examiner's office told me, our daughter's word is final because they were riding with our daughters because they spoke more proficient American English. So this is how they deal with blacks. It depends on, they can just use any bias. So they gave my mother's body to her daughters without my permission, and my daughters took her body away. And my mother said her daughters may be into insurance fraud also. She has a feeling they were trying to file insurance fraud or policy on her and kill her. And they gave, then my daughters went and collected my mother's properties. In the storage, I had my green card there because my mother, the immigration issued 2 green cards to me after they arrested me. They issued 2 green cards to me. My mother kept one for me, and I had one. So, so in 2015, after my mother's daughters killed her, our daughters went and took all her property in the storage in New York. And I appealed to the store that you can't do this. They were like, our daughters win. They speak more American English than me. And, they're going to ride with them. So they gave all my mother's property to our daughters, in 2015. I was trying to get a lawyer to help me. No lawyer in America would help me. As an African, even when my mother was alive, no lawyer would help us. Like, Africans are not wanted anywhere. So I'm going to play the video now when the police came to Chokehold in 2019. Trump became president, and he was saying, Africans need to go back to the shithole country. Also, there was my mother also was politically active, so she reported the NYPD to CCRB and went on Channel 11 News and said the NYPD are terrorists. They terrorized me and her out of our home. So one of the NYPD police commissioner, former police commissioner, then issued a press statement that some people are losers and live with their children in a basement apartment. So that NYPD commissioner, I heard, was very close to Trump. Being the one encouraging Trump to run for office, because they said Trump wasn't interested in running for office. My mother was killed in 2015, and they said Trump decided late I was going to run for office after my mother was killed, because I was filing lawsuit upon lawsuit against the NYPD, against the city of New York. So as I said, we're taking our country back. Then Trump made a statement, shithole country, those Africans need to go back to the shithole country. And Trump almost, hit me with his Jeep in Manhattan, and he told the press that, he can kill somebody in Manhattan and get away with it. I believe I was the one he was referring to. So I'm under FBI surveillance. The day almost hit me with his Jeep, I was talking, and the FBI surveillance would have picked me up because I had my phone on me. So I was like, who is that guy that tried to hit me with his Jeep? And bystander said, that's Trump, that's his Jeep. We're standing in front of his house. He said, they said, I didn't even know who he was. Then after that, Trump made a statement that, he can kill somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. So in 2019, Trump ordered the immigration raid on immigrants in New York. So July 2019. So as you can see, the police came after me. July 2019 and began choking me. So I'm going to play the video. So I've been homeless on the street, and they took my green card from me that day. My mother's daughters have my other green card. So right now I don't have any green card, nothing. I've been trying to get government benefits. They deny me, say without my green card I can't get nothing. So I've been on the street for many years. My mother's daughters are keeping my green card away from me, and the police stole my green card. On this day they choked me. So this is them kneeling on me, choking me. I'm going to play you the video. So if anything should happen to me, my mother's daughters should be charged with reckless endangerment and imprisoning me by stealing my green card, because they have no right to take off my mother's properties. So this is what is going on. So this is 2019 July when the police began choking me. So before my mother was killed, my mother appealed to the CCRB to help us. They declined to help us. I also appealed to CCRB. They declined to help me. And Eric Garner was going to help us. The police choked him also in 2014. I said the police were laughing as they were choking him dead. So and Trump, I'm suspecting this former police commissioner. I think his name is Carrick. They said he was also there on January 6th when Trump was doing, when there was a insurrection. And, they said he was arrested. So I believe he might be the troublemaker causing all this melee. So, causing Trump to act out. So in 2019, the police came and choked me as Trump was doing an immigration raid. So this is them choking me. So I'm going to play the video right now. So I knew right away they were trying to steal my green card. So, I had my luggage. It's not in the video. My luggage is behind them. I had my green card in my luggage, and so they put their nail on my neck. They were choking me. They said, "I'm Mary Garner's friend. Why are you attacking me? You're trying to steal my property." So they were trying to take my green card from me. Because they had me on the police surveillance. I always put my green card in my luggage because I thought it was the safest place, because people always put their hand in my pocket and rob me of everything, my phone and everything. So I used to put my green card in my luggage, hoping if somebody takes my luggage, the police will identify them on camera. So on Bay Ridge Avenue and 4th Avenue, that day an MTA worker told me, you're done today. I was trying to use the bathroom on this day, July 20th, 2019. And they brought a thug into the bathroom, and the thug turned the heat on, the hot water on, and the hand dryer on. And there was so much smoke in the bathroom. It was a hot summer day. And I told the person, look, I'm wearing a hoodie, I'm so hot. Please, can you turn the hot water off? And the person left the hot water on and the hand dryer on. Said they were washing their clothes and they're going to leave the hot water. And so I required the person by the sink. I said, I'm going to download the video, upload the video online, and I'm going to, because somebody died of heat exhaustion in the Bronx some days earlier, and they charged the person that caused it with some, with a crime. So I told that person, I believe your government thugs harassing me and trying to cause me to suffer heat exhaustion in July. I said, I recorded the video. I'm going to upload it online. By nighttime. So I left the Prospect Park Station Q train station bathroom. Yeah, I used to call the police on that person, and but the police always harasses me. And it said prior to that, also some days earlier, it said an African was throwing water at the police. So it said anytime a black person attacks the police will look for another black person to harm. They said it happened to Abdul Wima. They said some blacks were threatening the police, and the police went and arrested Abdul Wima, took him to their prison in Brooklyn, and raped him with a stick in his rear, in his behind. So in Harlem 2019, anybody can do a web search. Before the police came and choked me, there was an African throwing water at the police in Harlem, and they arrested that African immediately, and they came to Brooklyn and choked me. On this day, July 2019, in the morning, I went to use the bathroom, and they accosted me. They had their thug was menacing me in the bathroom. I normally call 911 from that bathroom, but I didn't call 911 that day because I felt, they were trying to harm me in the bathroom and choke me in the bathroom. Because an African had thrown water at them. So they would have choked me in the bathroom. So I didn't call 911 that day because they always act aggressive. They always come into when I call 911, they will all come into the bathroom and they'll be menacing. Say, what? Why do you keep calling 911? You're the So I felt they were going to choke me. So I didn't call 911 in the bathroom that day, even that the dog was provoking me in the bathroom. So I left the bathroom. I said, I said, I'm going to upload the video. I'm going to have other people help me. So by nighttime, I came to sit down here on Berridge and 4th Avenue. Then the brother's white guy, and he began rubbing his hand on my head. Sneaked up on me, and I told him to stop doing that. He's been doing that for many days, and he came back that day and was rubbing his hand on my head, and I told him to stop that sexual harassment. And they left. Then the police came and began choking me. Said they heard I was fighting with somebody. I said the guy was sexually harassing me, and there's a police camera across the street, and they began, choking me.
What the fuck?
My girlfriend! Why are you attacking me? Why are you attacking my girlfriend? Why are you attacking my girlfriend? They want to steal my property! They want to steal my property! My belongings!
So they finally put a nail on my neck and they were choking me all along. I couldn't breathe. I have breathing difficulty. I've been diagnosed with bronchitis. I used to stay in a basement apartment, and the landlord let the carpet dirty, water will come in, rainwater will come in, I will inhale all that. So I've always had a breathing problem. So when they were smothering me, I was having breathing difficulties. And the Red Cross refused to help me, even though the Legal Aid Society sued the New York City in the 1990s that anytime somebody's rented homeless from their basement apartment, the city of New York should give them a hotel room. And the city and the court ordered a settlement agreement in favor of the Red Cross and people like me that are vacated. And anytime we're vacated from the basement apartment, the city of New York should provide us a hotel room. And the city of New York contracted you, Red Cross, to provide a hotel room. I've been contacting you, Red Cross, and you refuse to help me, refuse to help my mother, and I'm on the street and I'm being choked by the police. And people have been telling me the police want to do it again. That this time they want to kill me because it's so easy to kill an African and get away with, like Diallo was killed and they got away with it. So so they're planning to do another choking. So I'm being menaced everywhere. They're sending mobs to attack me. If I try to use the bathroom, they want to lock me out to the bathroom. So I'm appealing to everyone, the City of New York Law Department, Red Cross, and CCRP. Please follow the law and please give me a hotel room, a Red Cross hotel room. So my life is safe. So right now I don't have my green card. The police stole my green card the day and took my luggage, left my luggage behind, even though they promised to take my luggage to the prison. Yeah, and I went and dumped in the NYU Psychiatric Hospital. So right now they've been following me around with paramedics cars. And said they're gonna do it again. And this Governor Oko is riding with them. She said she wants homeless people put in the psych ward. Even she believes all the homeless are crazy. This is the way my mother's daughters killed her. So she's riding with Governor Oko is riding with the dirty cops, and what they do is to try to choke you there. And they've been killing so many Black Americans like this. Another Black American was choked like this 2 months after they choked me in November in Denver, Colorado. He died. I survived. So I was talking about his case. His name is Elijah McClain. I've been talking about his case for 3 years now. And last year, the mayor of Denver, Colorado, ordered the arrest of the police officer and the paramedic. So they convicted them finally. But since then, this year, some weeks ago, another black American was choked some days ago, I believe in Ohio. The police was trying to put him in psych ward. And another black American also in Texas, they were trying to put him in psych ward. Also, he died of a heart attack. So they've been menacing me at Standing Up Ferry. They said that this Governor Oko hired a Nigerian nurse. I said, he's going to be, that Nigerian nurse is going to be leading the team of police that is going to be arresting people and putting them in psych ward. And then I met with one of I believe it's the same Nigerian nurse, I'm not sure, but Nigerian nurse met me in the subway and told me my life is in danger, I need to leave the subway for my safety. And that nurse has been coming around with police around me. So they said they're going to choke me again. People are telling me that they're going to choke me soon. So they're locking up bathrooms against me, and I'm being attacked by racist mob, xenophobic mob. Menace me everywhere. So, I need every humanitarian assistance. My life is in danger. You can watch the video. So the NYC hospital, they're also behind it. So my life is not safe anywhere. Before my mother was killed by her daughters, she appealed to her family member all over the world. Some of them are in England, and they refused to help me and my mother. So my mother said, our family don't care about my situation either. So I'm not safe with any family member abroad. So in case they try to harm me and say I'm safer abroad, people they've been sending people to tell me to go abroad. I'm not going to be safe in America. I contacted the Nigerian embassy also while I was in the NY psychiatric hospital. I told them there's a video of me being choked and they should help me, and the Nigerian embassy promised to help me, and they refused, and they never got back in touch with me. I was calling them back, and they were just stringing me along. And after I got out of the hospital, the Nigerian embassy refused to help me. They started hanging up the phone on me. So I'm afraid, they may have sold me out to the police, that it's okay, they can kill me, and, they will shed the money. Because my mother said, in the 1980s, she won a lawsuit. She was living in an apartment in the 1980s. In the 1970s, and the landlord painted it with lead, and so she sued and won a lot of money, and somebody in Nigeria contacted her and told her to bring the money to Nigeria, lured her to come to Nigeria with the money, and she didn't take the money to Nigeria. She just went to Nigeria without the money, and at the airport, some government gangs accosted her and said, we are told you'll bring a lot of money from America, give us the money now. We want to have it. So my mother told them all she brought to Nigeria was $8. So the government thugs, and she opened up our wallet, and they saw all she had was $8. So the government thugs went and attacked the person that lured my mother to Nigeria. So you said she was going to bring a lot of money, she won a lawsuit, where's the money? And they were roughing the person up, so my mother ran away from the airport. And since then, soon after that, there was a lot of Americans getting duped in the Nigerian airport. People will invite them to Nigeria and dupe them. So the American government banned the Nigerian airport. Said there was a lot of corruption, and now the Nigerian government has said they're the most corrupt country in the world. And so so after I contacted the Nigerian government, a guy was calling me from Nigeria, through Facebook, and said he wants me to leave America, abandon all my case. I should forget about my mother's daughters killing her. I should come to Nigeria with all my property. So I believe they want to kidnap me in Nigeria, and then said and then claim that all my rights I've assigned it to them, and then get the money and file a lawsuit on my behalf and get the money for themselves. So I don't know if it's Nigerian government or whoever. So someone has been hiring black American thugs to punch me and beat me. There was a white guy that normally sits with me. It was a hippie. He has a Rastafarian. It was a white guy, but it was a white American, but he had dreadlocks. And he usually sits close to me sometimes. And one day I heard he was struck dead in around 2021. And someone has been hiring thugs to tell me I have to leave America, I'm going to be choked dead soon. And then some of these thugs, or anytime I'm sitting down, they'll come behind my back and hide around my neck. So I don't know if it's the Nigerian government or not, but they said some foreign governments are assassinating their citizens. They said in Canada, the Indian government hired assassins to kill an Indian. Because they felt it was exposing the government secret. So I'm exposing the Nigerian government secret, and I don't know if they're behind hiring black American thugs to harass me, but I've been getting punched by black American thugs. And the police wouldn't help me either. And they don't let me use the bathroom, so my life is in danger. And this Governor Oko said, if anybody fights with the police, any immigrant fights with the police, they're going to be deported. And this I believe these police are hiring thugs also to harass me. That I'm being denied access to the bathroom, and everywhere I'm getting jumped by thugs. And also in 2020, when COVID started, the MTA locked up all the bathrooms I could use, and the guy. I couldn't find a bathroom to use. I was running out of scatter. That I couldn't find a bathroom to use. I was about to mess up my pants, and this guy showed up, told me to follow him to his house, that I can come use the bathroom in his house. So when I got to his house, he was making sexual advances towards me, and he told me he wanted to marry me right away. And I told him, sir, I can't do that. And within 6 days, he punched me and kicked me out of his house. Was taking sexual advantage of me, and I called the police right away. While I was in his house, I was bleeding. And Governor Cuomo, he was the governor then. He had signed a law then that if nobody can evict somebody at that time because the street was too dangerous. So my head was bleeding, and I called 911 in the Bronx, and the police came, and and they said you have to leave. We're not following the law. If the guy wants you out of his house, you're coming out of his house. And even so with my head bleeding and everything, they threw me out on the street. So all my property I had then has been stolen. My mother's daughters have my green card with them. I don't have any ID. And then my storage, denied me access to my storage. Even though there was a hardship waiver I could have applied for it, my storage didn't allow me to do an hardship waiver. And my storage I had two storages, extra space in my hand, and American storage on standard. And both storages auctioned on my property. Even though Governor Oko signed a law then, or Governor Cuomo rather, signed a law in 2020 that nobody should collect debts, because there was an emergency and people were broke. My storage gave all my property away. So on that property, I had evidence against the NYPD, and video recording of Eric Garner telling me, it was going to help me with my court case before the NYPD choked him dead. So so I don't know. And they said somebody came and bought all of my property, and somebody in Nigeria that was calling me on Facebook said I should leave America, forget about my lawsuit, and just come to Nigeria. That's where I need to be. I told her my mother was killed. I'm trying to do the case. I said, forget about it. Just come to Nigeria. Hurry up. I said, my life is not safe in Nigeria also. So I don't know who's hiring these people to lure me to Nigeria. Even my mother's daughter in Nigeria told me to come to Nigeria, abandon everything in America. So I don't know if I'm being sent for a kidnap. One of my pastors, he was a Nigerian pastor, and his wife told me he went to Nigeria and they killed him and stole his money. So there's a whole lot of situation like that, whereby they will lure you to come to Nigeria and they'll kill you, steal all your money. And in my case, they could just, tell me to kidnap me and tell me to sign over my rights to them and declare me mentally incompetent. And this Governor Oku says she wants people homeless to be declared mentally incompetent. So I'm saying, is this a pre-op? Are they trying to declare me mentally incompetent and ship me off to Nigeria? So that's the people there, the criminals there, with the government criminal gangs there, can then say I'm mentally incompetent. I was shipped from an American hospital as a crazy. So we will take over the lawsuit and the money. And this place almost choked me dead. And and the Nigerian government said they're not going to help me. And they're helping other people. There's some Americans that got killed, and the Nigerian government arrested the Nigerians that killed them, brought them to America. But for my case, they're not going to help me. Even though my mother was also a naturalized US citizen. So I told them Eric Garner, also a black American, was killed while he was trying to help me. The Nigerian government doesn't want to help me. So I don't know why the Nigerian government is covering up crime. I said they love that the Nigerian government officials are involved in shady deals. And they've been trying to kill me or hospitalize me and just declare me a vegetable. They're trying to put me in coma. And then, and also someone has been hiring females, and they've been brushing their body on me. And people, like the guy that also took me to his house, said he wants to get married right away. So I don't know who's hiring all these people to target me. My mother said her daughters also are part of a gang here in America. So I don't know, and my mother said they were trying to kill her also for insurance fraud money and for inheritance money through the lawsuit I filed. So I don't know if they plan to give the money to the gang. So some black American gangs are attacking me, and the Nigerian government is not trying to help me arrest my mother's daughters, because Nigeria has an agreement with the U.S. government to prosecute crimes by Nigerians or, that involve Nigerians and Americans. And they've been, also somebody is hiring people to try to hit me with cars. It's like they want to put me in a coma position and give my rights and take my rights. And also there's a legal loophole. When Arigona was killed, his wife was pregnant of a baby, and the baby was born after Arigona died. So they said, they said under the law, if you can kill somebody, you can take their semen and impregnate somebody else and claim that child now is the survivor, because I'm a transsexual. I don't have any children. I'm not married to anybody. So and they've been bringing people around me to sexually entice me. The females, male, they've been rubbing their body on my body. So it's like they're trying to lure me into some, like some fake marriage, and then have me killed, maybe with car fluid and stuff. And then claim, they say in America, if you're married to somebody and the person dies, you inherit everything. Because, so I'm not married to anybody. I'm single, and nobody has the right to make decisions for me. And I don't want anybody, if I'm killed, I don't want anybody to use my body part to make children. I don't want to have any children. I'm single. In case I'm killed, an international humanitarian organization should take over my case and get justice for me and my late mother. And any remaining asset I have should be used to help people that are suffering xenophobia attack like me. And only an organization that hasn't denied me up in the past should take over my case. And also the recipient of my charity should be people that have never denied me help in the past. So right now the Red Cross and the CCRB and the New York City Law Department are refusing to help me, because there's a settlement agreement already signed in the 1990s. There are people like me that are removed from basement apartment by the police. We have to be put in a hotel room. So, and also I get a course there by people that want to fight me. So I don't know why, maybe all these organizations don't want to deal with me because they feel I'm a legal liability, because there are people that want to extort me also. They try to fight me everywhere I go and claim, I'm defaming their character, So please, I don't care, if you consider me a legal liability, I need assistance, because my mother's daughter's reckless endangerment by killing my mother and taking my green card away. Under the law, that's called a kidnap. When you take somebody's passport and ID, it's quite a kidnap, because me and my mother were sharing the same passport. As a child, my picture was in a passport, and also the immigration sent me 2 green cards. My mother kept one, and I kept one. So you can go into my immigration record from 2008. The immigration issued me 2 green cards. So the one that was with my mother, she was holding a spare green card for me in case I lose the other one that I have. My mother's daughter was killed in 2015 and took that all the property my mother had to Pennsylvania with, and they refused to return the green card to me, which is called a forced imprisonment when you take an immigrant's ID. So I've been trying to apply for government assistance here in New York and in New Jersey, and they deny me everywhere. Even I used to go to a place to shower in New Jersey. They told me I can't come back there because I have luggages. It's only Black Americans that are allowed to have luggages in that place. So they're just using all kinds of xenophobia abuse on me and try to provoke me to fight. So please, I need everybody to appeal to the Red Cross and the New York City Law Department and the CCRB. That this case is very important. New York has a settlement order against them since 1990s. That people like me have to give in hotel rooms. I'm permanently put in a hotel room till I'm able to get permanent housing. And Jumaane Williams, the New York City public advocate, said a high-ranking state official is inciting attacks against immigrants, homeless immigrants, to harm them and get rid of them. So, I believe one of the and this governor Oko said she wants immigrants declared mentally ill, homeless declared mentally ill, and this is what and I believe this will help the criminals in Nigeria, the Nigerian fraudsters, the Nigerian government fraudsters in Nigeria, because if they can declare me mentally ill in an American hospital and ship me over to Nigeria, then they can then claim, look, this person is mentally ill, and we're not taking over the case, and we need all the money for ourselves. So I'm being sold as a slave, and this Governor Oko is encouraging that. She needs to be impeached right away. The feds need to raid her. Jumaane Williams said, a high-ranking state official is setting up homeless or immigrants on the street to get harmed. The Jumaane Williams need to come out and speak. They took me to psycho and they already misdiagnosed me with all kinds of mental illnesses, fake diagnosis. And and they did something very suspicious. When they took me to the psych ward on July 20, 2019, Trump ordered an immigration raid, and they said a former police commissioner was close to to Trump. And and they said it might be the one leading Trump's decision to be hostile to immigrants. And said we're taking our country back, and filed so many lawsuits against NYC. Inside, Trump decided he was running for president late after my mother was killed. And he ordered an immigration raid on this day, July 20, 2019, and then the police came after me. They sent one of their rogue thugs, and he was rubbing my body in a sexual way. And I told him, the police camera is watching you, sir. You're perverted, stop touching me. And he went away. And the police came and said they heard I was fighting with somebody and put on arrest. I said, yeah, the guy was touching me in a sexual harassment way, and the camera was recording. This is Bay Ridge and 4th Avenue. And and they slammed me on the floor and began choking me. And the head of Homeland Security made fun of me, issued a statement to the press that we need an immigrant that can stand up. That was me trying to stand up being choked. That's me trying to stand up. So while I was in the psych ward, I was reading the newspaper, and I saw the Homeland Security guy. He's a Spanish guy. Trump appointed him. He said, we need immigrants that can stand on their 2 feet. So I used to sit in this area. People used to come and help me with money. And this guy came and, rubbed his hand on my body like a sexual harassment. So they've been following me around with ambulances. My life is in danger.